It's the kind of story that people whisper about but never admit aloud. The kind of emotional tightrope where loneliness, vulnerability, and boundaries blur into something else entirely. You think you know where the line is until one night, you realize you already stepped over it. And once that moment happens, there's no undoing it, no pretending everything is still the same. That's exactly what happened to Claire. Claire Mitchell was 39 when the cracks in her life began to widen. She lived in a beautiful colonial-style home just outside Albany, New York. The kind of house with a manicured lawn and white shutters, the one that promised comfort but never quite delivered it. The rain was merciless that night, drumming endlessly on the roof like a warning no one wanted to hear. Claire stood in her candlelit kitchen, a half-full wine glass dangling from her fingers. She never drank much. But tonight, the silence pressed in like a weight on her chest. Her husband, Thomas, was away again, another vague conference out of state, another excuse to disappear. Upstairs was Ethan, Thomas's 19-year-old son from his first marriage. A quiet, withdrawn presence in the house, he kept to himself mostly, earbuds always in, barely speaking a word. Claire tried to connect, tried to be the kind of stepmother who didn't feel like a stranger. But Ethan was a locked door she couldn't open. She often found herself doing little things, leaving snacks he liked on the counter, asking about school, folding his laundry with the same care she folded her husband's shirts. It was during one of those ordinary afternoons in the laundry room when something shifted. A moment she would later try to convince herself meant nothing. As she sorted Ethan's gym clothes, something in the way his boxers were bunched, the shape beneath the fabric, it froze her hand in midair. She looked away quickly, cheeks burning with shame, trying to push the thought out of her head. Just laundry, she told herself. Nothing more. But that image, that awareness, it lingered. Not because of what she saw, but because of what it stirred inside her: confusion, guilt, and something else she didn't want to name. Days later, Ethan came home limping after soccer practice. Claire noticed immediately. "You okay?" she asked from the kitchen. "Yeah, just saw," he muttered, not meeting her gaze. The way he hesitated, the way his shoulders hunched a little more than usual, it stayed with her. That night, as she lay in bed beside Thomas, his back to her, his presence colder than the sheets, she couldn't stop thinking about Ethan's voice. Something wasn't right. But Thomas never noticed. He never asked his son how he was doing. He never noticed how quiet Claire had become, either. Over time, Ethan began speaking more. Just small things at first. Helping her bring in groceries. Asking questions about her day. Then one evening, while she stirred soup, he asked, "How do you know if you're normal?" The spoon in her hand stilled. She looked at him carefully. His voice was low, uncertain, his eyes flickering with embarrassment. "What do you mean? Like, physically? Do you ever wonder if there's something wrong with you?" The question hit her in a place she hadn't expected. Vulnerability wrapped in teenage fear. Claire swallowed and answered gently, "Everyone's different, Ethan. There's no single version of normal." He nodded, but something in his eyes told her he didn't believe it. The questions continued. Late at night, while washing dishes or sitting in the quiet living room. Do girls care about size? Does being different scare people off? What if someone feels uncomfortable in their own body? Each one a thread pulling her deeper into something intimate and unspoken. She told herself she was just being supportive. That she was filling a gap left by his absent mother and his emotionally distant father. But she couldn't deny how those questions made her feel. Needed. Seen. Like she mattered in a way she hadn't in years. One night, during a thunderstorm, the power went out. Claire sat in the living room under a blanket, candlelight casting soft shadows on the walls. Ethan appeared in the doorway, damp from the rain, his hoodie clinging to him. "Power's out," he said softly. She nodded. "Come sit." He hesitated before sliding next to her on the couch, and when she pulled the blanket to cover them both, his body leaned into hers just slightly. The tension in the air was thick, humming like electricity. "Can I ask you something?" he whispered. "Of course. What if I'm never enough for someone? What if people always leave?" The ache in his voice nearly broke her. She turned to face him. "I don't think there's anything wrong with you. You're not too much. You're just human. And then came the moment, the one that changed everything. Would you help me understand? He asked. Not physically. Just emotionally. Just tell me what it's supposed to feel like. What it means. Their hands brushed under the blanket. A whisper of contact, but enough to burn through every line she thought she had drawn. She didn't pull away. He didn't move. The silence spoke louder than words. The next morning, Claire moved through the house like it belonged to someone else. Dishes, coffee, routine, but nothing felt right. Ethan avoided her eyes. The weight in the air was unbearable. She found herself checking her phone constantly, wondering what Thomas would say if he ever found out. But he never asked. Never noticed anything. Then, 3 days later, Claire found a folded note on her nightstand. Her name written on it in Ethan's careful handwriting. She hasn't opened it yet. She carries it in her pocket like a stone, heavy and constant. It's a reminder of everything that happened, everything she can't undo. She tells herself she was just helping. That she wanted to be there for someone who felt alone. But deep down, she knows it wasn't just about Ethan's fears. It was about her emptiness. Her need to feel something, to be seen, to matter. Now the house feels unfamiliar. Every hallway echoes. The candles don't warm it anymore. And she's left wondering what the note says and whether she has the courage to read it.